In John chapter 10, this is the passage where Jesus calls himself the Good Shepherd. And he says in verse 1, "Truly, truly, I say to you." He's repeating himself, "Truly, truly, don't miss this. Don't miss this." He says, "He who does not enter the sheepfold by the door, but climbs in any other way, that man is a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door, this is the shepherd of the sheep. And to him the gatekeeper opens. And the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. And when he has brought out all his own, he goes before them. And the sheep follow because they know his voice." You see that personal picture? But I want to give you just a couple of points out of this passage of Scripture. Jesus only enters by the door. Only ever. He has bound himself by his word. He says the one who enters by the door is the shepherd. He contrasts it with the very first verse, which says, "He who enters the sheepfold by any other way," trying to climb a window, forcing his way in, any other way, that one is the thief. That's the thief. He uses two verses to describe it. Here's what I am not. I will not be the one coming in any other way. I only come through the door. You're probably familiar with Revelation 3:20. "Behold, I stand at the door, and I" what? "Knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come into him and eat with him and he with me." Now, we're familiar with that scripture. We often think of it in terms of salvation, Jesus knocking on the door of our heart. Will we let him in? But the context of where those words are written is in a letter to a church. Jesus is speaking to his own church. "Behold my church that bears my name. I stand at the door, and I am knocking, and I am waiting for someone to open the door and let me in." Can you picture him? Shut out of his own house? Because he says, "I only ever enter by the door. I have bound myself to my own word. I gave you dominion here. I give you free will. I give you the right to choose." It is the thief who forces. It is the thief who makes people submit. He says, "I come and I knock, and I wait for someone to open to me." How often are we hearing him knock at the door, or not getting close enough to hear, and keeping the door shut, and then blaming God because his provision is not coming? See, Jesus comes through the door, but he does not open it himself. Verse 3 tells us the gatekeeper opens. The gatekeeper opens to him. The one who is watching, the one who is listening, keeping watch, looking for him, waiting to see, seeking him. Moses, who climbed the mountain, desiring to hear from God. And when that gatekeeper hears and opens, he says, "Then I will be glad to come in, and we can do some things together."